Hello and welcome. Today I'll be showing you how to build an MLA formatted paper using Google Docs. The first steps here is to change our font. The universal font that is used for MLA formatting is Times New Roman. It's also going to be 12 point, and also come on over here to line spacing. We are going to use double spacing for everything. The next step here is to write your author's name. So this is where you would write your name. First name followed by last name in the upper left hand corner, right where that insertion point, that little black blinky thing is going to start. Then we'll hit enter, and next we're going to put in your teacher's name followed by the period that you are in, and we'll follow that with the date. Different teachers are going to have you do this all slightly differently. That's okay. So dates might look a little different. Formatting looks different. Always go with what your teacher says in terms of how they want this to look. Next, we'll go enter, and we're going to put in the title. The title is going to be centered. We'll center align it using this button up here, or Control-Shift-E. And here we're going to put in the title of our paper. I happen to have it written up here on the title of my document as well. I didn't capitalize the to and an because they're little words, and little words don't get capitalized in a title in this type of formatting unless it's the very first word. All right, next little detail, we'll hit enter again, but you see how our insertion point is still center aligned. So we'll bring it over to a left alignment. And now we need to create the body of our paper. In order to do that first, though, we need to indent the very first line by a 1/2 inch. And we can do that by pressing tab, or even easier, if you come up here, there's a left indent arrow that points down, and above it a little line called first line indent. If you click that first line indent and drag it over to where it says 0.5, that's a 1/2 inch, now that insertion point is moved over, and so will all the other paragraphs below it. They'll also be indented as well. All right, for the content of my paper, I chose to pull something that was written by the folks over at Purdue. And here's the content of the paper. I have 3 paragraphs. You see each paragraph is indented by that 1/2 inch mark. This one looks like I had a little extra space there. And then at the end, before I put the period, I'm going to put down who I got this information from. So this information happened to come from Purdue. It was a website. And then after I put that citation in parentheses, I'm going to put the period. So if you had an author, the author's name would go in there. And then the next part about this is if you're going to do citations, you need a works cited page. So to do that, we're going to insert a page break. You can also do this by pressing Control-Enter. Now we're jumped down to our next page. And here we're going to center things again. And you can put in your bibliography or works cited, or however you want that to look, however your teacher would like that. And then hit enter again and left align it. And you'll see it goes back to that left aligned first line indent. From here, the only trouble is when we put that works cited in, if you're using the first line indent, it changes things over just a little bit. So I moved that back over just for the works cited. And then on the next paragraph, we see we have a 1/2 inch indent again. We actually don't need that for any of the citations here. We're going to be putting them in directly. For the citations, I have one already pre-built. You can get them from EasyBib or other places. Your teacher probably has an idea of where they would like you to get your citations from. But your citations will come in here. Watch out, if you copy and paste something from an external website, like where you're getting citations, you want to make sure that you still have the same kind of formatting as everything else in your paper. So I'm going to go back to that Times New Roman 12. I'm going to double check to make sure that's all correct. And then one last little thing here. Let's see. Let me make sure that's double spaced. Oh, good, it is. The last thing is we can add in page numbers. If your teacher wants page numbers, you can double click at the top of your paper, anywhere at the very top, and we'll get a header. And the header is going to be right aligned. and you're going to put in your last name followed by a space, and then we're going to insert a page number from your insert menu. And it's going to be in the upper right hand corner. So when we put that in, it shows up right there. If I double click off of that, or single click off it, and then scroll down, you'll see it now shows up on each page. So if I did another page break even here at the end, Control Enter, you'll see it adds another page, and it automatically numbers them for you. All right, there you go. A little something on how to do a basic MLA paper. Hope you enjoyed.